Strawweight set to go inside the Invicta FC cage. UFC veteran Heather Jo Clark taking on Kinberly Novaes. Speaking of UFC veterans, James Krause in the corner of Heather Jo Clark, her coach on international assignment. James Krause training at Factory X in the past, in her corner right now. These ladies are going to war.
That was a big opening right hand there from Heather Clark. Morangian got a little bit off balance there, got hit a little bit with a glancing spinning back fist, and now Clark has her pushed up against the cage as they're clinched.
Double unders here for Novaes, able to push Clark into the fence. Looking like she's trying to get a takedown here.
And you can see Novaes is trying for a level change, kind of a double leg position, but Clark's legs are split enough that it's going to be hard to do. She needs to really pin them together as they are now, pull her away from the cage. Unfortunately, she has lost the positioning there.
Sticking with this clinch is Novaes, and Clark just putting her elbow on the face of Novaes, trying to break the posture.
Yeah, she's very long for this division, and she's able to kind of use that to push on people's heads while she's still wrapped up. Now she's trying for kind of a clinched up, a frame with the right hand as she works to dig with that left hand underneath. Controlling the wrist now.
Circle back out. Circle out. Let's circle here. Hey, just grab an underhook and work off here. No guillotine. Underhook, please.
The corner of Clark telling her not to flirt with that guillotine, try to use the underhook, try to make space. Novaes got her to the floor for a brief moment, unable to keep her there.
And Clark is wrapped around the head. She does have a little bit of judo training in her background. I think she was maybe trying to tie up to get a trip so she could swing over for a hip toss. Her back is still to the cage, but she's doing a nice job of framing out the shorter fighter's head.
Novaes sticking to this takedown game. Has Clark on the mat. We'll see if she can secure the position.
She has her on the mat, but Clark's right knee is a little bit more out. She could get up. You can see Novaes stepped around that. Clark is working now to get to her feet, but her left leg was trapped, TJ. See, Novaes is really looking for positioning with that right arm. She was over the top, but now she is double underhooked up against the cage, trying to push for space with her palms there.
Halfway point of this first round. Seems both these ladies have a similar game plan.
Clark is digging her head in, breaking the posture of Novaes with it.
Head position, very important here. You hear that from the corner of Heather Jo Clark.
And that's a smart strategy. When you split kind of the head of a shorter fighter from their hips, it's very hard for them to launch effective power attacks. Plus, her back is to the cage, Novaes, and it's hard for her. She's really got to dig for that underhook on her left side to get anything to happen here.
Novaes now able to get her back off the fence. Clark puts her right back. Very gritty clinch game here unfolding in this first round.
I'm not seeing any super powerful, huge commitments to knees from either fighter yet, TJ. Mostly just kind of jockeying for position. Clark pulls out. I guess she wants this to be, she was doing actually well with that opening stance of the punches.
Big left hand and a right there by Novaes, comboing up the punches. Minutes ago here in round number one.
And that was smartly done by Novaes to throw those in combination and push back so that there's no, she has less distance to work with there.
Bully tactic there by Heather Jo Clark, and it works in top position.
Successfully drags her to the ground. Now it's up to Novaes to either get to her feet. Ooh, big elbows from Clark.
Novaes can't eat many of those. 30 seconds. Novaes trying to get a guard.
And she was able to push her hips back with that left butterfly hook, but she wasn't really able to get any kind of distance from Clark.
Final 15 seconds of this round, a very important takedown for the UFC veteran Heather Jo Clark.
Looks like Novaes is trying to get to almost a go-go plata position there with her right foot.
Unable to get it, but we see that rubber guard game of the Brazilian. Back and forth fight. Round number 2 underway. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Scottish Rite Temple, Kansas City, Missouri, Invicta FC 30. Big looping punch there. Kick the lead leg by Novaes.
Novaes does such a nice job of keeping her hands up till she starts throwing, and then they both drop. Heather's a little bit sharper with that, longer shots, but she is eating the leg kick here.
Grab your smartphone and text Invicta to 555-888. You'll get some great gifts from our sponsors. Plus, you'll be automatically entered to win a pair of autographed gloves. Again, text Invicta to 555-888. Combination there by Heather Jo Clark. Novaes comes in, the combination.
She really likes that kind of double overhand left motion. I understand that you're trying to get over somebody's big guard. Their hands are up there. You got to get over the top, and so that's not a bad idea. But I'd love to see a level change underneath that and attack to the legs.
We're on Twitter at Invicta Fights, at JulesK_fighter, at TJ DeSantis. Just use that hashtag Invicta FC 30. Now back in the clinch. Clark has Novaes into the cage. Novaes reverses position.
Clark is pushing on the face of Novaes with that hand. Corner calls for the underhook. So now she's taking her left arm, and bracing across the face, trying to find an elbow shot there as she's pushing on the jaw with an open hand.
Seen the exchange of positions multiple times in this fight. Clark misses with a big elbow.
And she did hear her corner, though. They were yelling for elbow on the break, and she threw one earlier to that. Not quite from the break, but that was nicely done. Novaes was throwing some nice leg kicks earlier. I'd like to see her throw a few more of those. They were landing pretty flush.
Doubling up the jab is the Brazilian.
She tends to lunge forward just a little bit, but, a little bit more head movement in there. That was nicely done, though. She timed underneath that overhand.
A big swing and a miss there by Clark. Nice kick to the body there by the Brazilian Novaes.
She is not afraid to move forward, TJ.
Not at all. Halfway point of this fight. Oh, spinning back fist attempt there by Novaes. Nice to the body, and then over the top with the left hand by Heather Jo Clark.
That brought out a smile from the Brazilian fighter. I think she likes being hit, TJ.
She's not afraid to fight.
No.
She was very honest about that in her first go-around in Invicta against Janeza Maranjan.
And I'm liking the leg kicks from the Brazilian. Clark is hitting those straight punches with length very well. Big looping punch there, but I think the Brazilian, when she does those combinations and ends on leg kicks, she does well. Nice takedown from Clark.
Amazingly timed by the veteran Heather Jo Clark. Half butterfly here for Novaes. Pushing off the fence here.
No. You can hear James Krause telling her to get her head off the cage. Putting her head up against the cage gives her a little bit of a base for her head to punch, but it gives the Brazilian an opportunity to get to her feet.
Novaes opening the guard here, foot on the hip. Trying to induce a scramble or grab a submission. Gets to a base, Heather Jo Clark on her back, one hook in.
She's a little high, TJ, but she's got underhook, she's underneath, and that's a good position to be able to extend from.
Hard to see where that forearm is of Heather Jo Clark. Novaes needs to be careful, but like you said, that position, Heather is a bit high.
And she's punching in pretty good, solid position by the ear. You can see Novaes put her hand over her ear, so it's not going to do any damage right there. But her chin is up now, Novaes, so she's got to watch out for Heather extending an arm in there. However, Novaes needs to keep circling. She needs to get to a position where she's not mounted or she doesn't have somebody on her back.
Final 30 seconds here in round number 2.
Ground and pound from Heather. I'd like to see her try to get those hooks extended, flatten her opponent out.
Clark made the proper adjustment too. She was high. She's still pretty high though, but she's more in control of the position, I think.
She is, and she's attacking the hands, which is smart because it keeps the Brazilian from finding a base position. Now you can see Novaes is turning into her, still getting hit by those back fists and those ear punches, which are definitely causing her some, yeah.
Final round here, Heather Jo Clark, Kinberly Novaes. Strawweight action inside the Invicta FC cage. Nice kick there by the Brazilian to the lead leg of the American. Doubles it up.
See, Heather probably didn't want any more of those kicks. She goes into a kind of a framed clinch position there.
Mentioned some big breaths by the Brazilian in between rounds, but still very aggressive, far from out of this one. Knee to the back of the thigh.
You can see some damage on the leg of Clark there. You know, she has eaten a couple leg kicks there. Nice little foot stomp there.
Seen quite a few foot stomps here this evening.
Smart corner work that we're hearing from James Krause. Clark tried to kind of block out with a leg, and he's like, no, 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 put that to the floor. And he was absolutely right. It put her in a very unbalanced position. Here, she's braced up again, but she's controlling the wrists a little bit better.
Adequate description there on Twitter of Kinberly Novaes. She really is a bulldog, tenacious with her attack.
Ooh, look at the damage on the inside of the left thigh of Heather Clark. That bruising is extensive. And now it's kind of a control for the inside. Novaes is keeping her elbows underneath when she gets the opportunity to slide under. However, I think she actually should disengage and start striking again, even though she's giving up reach. Here with her hips so far out, she's not really doing any damage. She's not really launching the attack she needs to. We need a level change here, or Heather's just going to block her out, and she needs to connect her hands in order to get this takedown. You can see Heather just sinking down into a split. Now, the thing is, Novaes could ride this, but I don't think she's going to. I think Heather's just going to stand back up. Oh, now the corner's saying no guillotine, but Clark is cranking on that, or she was for a second. She really thought she had it. Novaes is controlling her right wrist.
That's something the corner shouted out to Clark a few times. They don't want her to go for that guillotine. Maybe it's because they don't want her to drop down and give up position.
Yeah, and it's very tempting as a taller fighter when you to just drape over the top when you think you have it, but it gives the takedown. A little slap to the face there.
2.5 minutes left in this fight. Strawweight's inside the cage. Kinberly Novaes, Heather Jo Clark.
Kind of a lunging lead uppercut there. Both have slowed down quite a bit.
Novaes went for that kick to the lead leg again. Clark trying to capitalize on a takedown.
Novaes trying to spin out. Her foot is still slightly trapped there, but this is not a bad position to work from if she can get it out. Unfortunately, she's got to really pull that left leg out or she might be put on her back. Clark is now reaching for the other leg. Novaes' hips are out. She's got to push on the head if she wants to circle away here. There's too much length in those arms and those legs.
Nice sprawl again on display here by Kinberly Novaes. We'll see if she can utilize it to get a dominant position.
And she's got her right arm really buried there. Now she's using that spin to get around, trying to use her left arm underneath the chin of Clark. Clark is kicking out her leg, trying not to be hooked. From here, it's unfortunate that that right arm is dug so deep because there could be some really good ground and pound from the right arm of Novaes with Clark in this position.
Novaes saying something to the ref, I think maybe complaining about Clark grabbing the glove, holding on to it.
Greg Franklin's getting a lot of good conversation tonight. Oh, and now the right arm is free.
See if Novaes can capitalize. A little bit over a minute remaining in this fight.
Now, Heather's trying to control that wrist. Novaes is pulling it out. Look for Heather to either sit, try to do a sit out to get to her feet, or roll through. I think she'll probably try to sit out. Novaes seems really stuck on there hard. And I like the way she's inserted her right knee into kind of the position in between, under Heather's hamstring and calf there.
The corner of Clark telling her to get back to her feet.
Ooh.
Novaes able to roll through that. Both hooks in for the Brazilian. 30 seconds left.
Nicely read position by Novaes. That was really well done. Now she is in the dominant position here, and it's all about freeing whichever wrist. Look at the damage, though, I'm saying, TJ. Look at that.
And that came from just a few kicks. It's not like Novaes landed, 15 kicks in this fight to that lead leg. It shows the power of the Brazilian.
And she is a really strong kicker. And she's ending this round in dominant position, so it may just come down to what they call the first round for.
15 minutes in the books. We'll see who takes it. Ladies embrace each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Here are the totals: 30-27, 29-28, and 29-28. All for your winner by unanimous decision out of Englewood, Colorado, the Hurricane, Heather Jo Clark.
Heather Jo Clark back in the winner's circle. She gets it done over Kinberly Novaes. Novaes had a shocked look on her face, but it is Clark that gets the win in her Invicta FC debut.